Good evening and welcome to the Spotlight. And thank you for joining us. I'm David Rose. And we begin tonight with breaking news on what may be the most evil drug to hit Seattle since fentanyl. It's called Xylazine, and it's used to make Tranq. As I first showed you a little more than a year ago, this dope is deadly. It's an animal tranquilizer mixed with fentanyl, but Narcan won't work on it, and it peels the dead flesh off your bones, leaving you a brainless, zoned-out husk. But the high, that's the killer here. The chemical craving it creates leaves you wanting it even more. And now the cartels have figured out a way to make the zombie drug even scarier. If meth is a dark horse riding side by side with heroin and fentanyl, Xylazine is the grim reaper holding the reins. And now the drug traffickers are launching a new deadly marketing campaign. Tonight, Seattle police are issuing a new warning about Xylazine. For the first time, detectives say they've discovered it being sold as a standalone drug, not mixed in with others. I talked with Deputy Chief Eric Barden about their concerns. It's a narcotic nightmare. Tranq, short for tranquilizer, is the flesh-rotting drug whose base ingredient is xylazine. When mixed with fentanyl and injected, it's a powerful high that turns users into real-life zombies, kills their skin, and leaves them scarred. Now, Seattle police say it's no longer just being laced into other drugs. The cartels are marketing it to addicts in a new way. What kind of form is it being sold in?
We've seen it in pill form.
The discovery that Xylazine is now available as a standalone drug in Seattle is so recent, the Deputy Chief Eric Barden couldn't show me what the new Tranq pill looks like because the ones they have are part of a very active investigation. Have there been any deaths in Seattle because of this drug?
There have been, we know of 3 deaths so far in 2024 where Xylazine has been present. The medical examiner has identified 3 overdose deaths as having Tranq on board.
So now, in addition to the threat posed by the death-dealing fentanyl pills known as blues, he says patrol officers are on alert for users collapsing from tabs of Tranq.
If it's a Xylazine-only overdose, the Narcan would have no effect at all.
That's because Xylazine is not an opioid. There's no antidote for an overdose.
Hey, Seattle police, wake up.
And it's not just the pills they're on the lookout for. He says they're concerned about it being trafficked in liquid or powder form. Why are the cartels even shipping Xylazine here when there's so much fentanyl and so much meth just flooding this area?
Xylazine enhances the effect of the opioid because it has similar impacts. As it's a sedative, it slows the heart, it slows breathing and those kinds of things, but it lasts longer. So if a person is buying fentanyl and it is laced with Xylazine, they may interpret that as being better fentanyl because the effects last significantly longer, not realizing that it's actually Xylazine that's having that impact.
One young lady was telling me about it, and she was saying that she used it and then was out and didn't remember anything.
Drug counselors and health professionals have been on alert here since 2022, as Tranq has spread from the east to the west coast.
They start dancing, and they seem kind of happy, and they're just having fun, to an immediate zombie-like trance.
For one recovering addict, the euphoria it produced almost seemed worth it, even though it did this to her arm.
It was definitely scary, but then you hit a point where it just becomes normal, and it's just another part of getting high.
That pull of addiction now even greater on the streets of Seattle, with this new triple threat of Xylazine, meth, and fentanyl, all sold separately in the name of profit, smuggled in by the Sinaloa and Jalisco cartels.
They're not pharmacists creating this stuff, and the dosing in each pill or vial or whatever it may be can be wildly different from one dose to the next, which is so extremely dangerous. There's opportunities for treatment and help, and we're just hopeful that folks can overcome their addiction.
And there is help. Suboxone is one of the best available treatments for opioid use. It keeps users from feeling sick and helps with cravings. King County has a new 24/7 hotline to make it easy to get a prescription. Just call 206-289-0287 or email telebup@uw.edu.